What do the greatest sports teams in history and the most successful businesses have in common? I can tell you this, it's not just talent, it's not just strategy, it's not even hard work, it's culture. That electric feeling in the locker room before the big game, the way teammates fight for each other on every single play, and how they bounce back after a loss. That's what separates the champions in sports and in business from everybody else. And in today's episode, I'm going to show you how to build that same championship culture in your business so that your team can perform at their best, overcome any obstacle, and rally around a common mission. Ready to create a team that wins on and off the field? Let's dive in. Welcome to Game Plan Leadership. Our goal is to coach business leaders to team victory by mastering the fundamentals of leadership, transforming teams, and building high-performance habits. I'm 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗍𝗍, founder of Mayner Leadership, where we have helped over 1,000 service businesses and their leaders across 50 different industries to build a streamlined, efficient business operation with elite leadership and a united, high-performing team. We are here to set you up to win. Every other week, we're going to drop fresh plays to sharpen your leadership game. If you're ready to stay ahead of the competition and lead your team to your next victory, make sure that you are in the huddle. Join our roster today so you never miss a strategy session. And stay tuned until the end for an actionable game plan that you can start using today to elevate your leadership and take your business to the next level. Let's dive in, Playmakers. Bring it in, Playmakers. So I want you to imagine walking into a championship locker room. What is it that you see? I can tell you, players that are laser focused, they're committed to one mission, which is winning a championship and playing for each other. You can feel the energy, you can feel the unity and the unwavering belief that together they can achieve something special. Now, I want you to imagine bringing that same energy and that same commitment into your business. And in today's episode, I'm going to show you how to build that winning team culture like a championship locker room. We're talking about creating a culture where accountability, trust, and the relentless pursuit of excellence aren't just those fancy buzzwords. They are your team's daily habits. Are you ready to turn your business to a high-performing championship-level operation? Let's get started in rolling out the 3 pillars of championship culture. Now, diving in, pillar number 1 is unity around a mission. So, the most common problem that many of you face is that you struggle with a fragmented team that lacks direction and lacks alignment. That, my friend, is on you. Here's the great thing is that you get to fix it. Employees might be working hard, but without that clear mission, their efforts often feel disjointed, unfocused, and they might lead to confusion and oftentimes miscommunication. So every great team starts with a clear mission. That is a purpose that aligns and energizes every team member. In a championship culture, unity means that everyone is on the same page of the same book. Think of it like a boat. We're all in the same boat. We're all rowing in the same direction. We know where we're trying to get to, and we're all eagerly working towards the same goal and rallying around that shared sense of purpose. You have to give them that as a leader. You got to give your team that. So here's some key points, some tips, some tricks, some ninja hacks, is that everyone needs to know the why of the team existing and what that looks like. So why do we exist? Why are we here? What's the bigger movement, right? And I don't care if you're a weed removal business, right? A landscaping business. It doesn't matter what the business is. There's a deeper reason, right? I know many landscaping businesses who their mission is to grow people. Okay. So it doesn't matter what type of business you are, but everyone needs to understand the why. Second ninja trick is that individual goals are secondary to the success of the team. Okay. So the team comes first. Individual is secondary. And then leaders constantly reinforce the mission. So they talk about this thing every single day in the huddles, in your one-on-ones, in your small group, in your large group meetings. We're reverting back to it. We're rewarding it. We're recognizing it. over and over and over again. And we're also modeling it in our behavior and in their behavior. Okay. So let's talk about what's the business application of this. So in a small home service trade business, what it means is it's ensuring that every technician, every sales rep, every support staff member, every office team member understands the company's mission. Okay, like delivering the high quality service that consistently exceeds customer expectations. Okay, that's a great mission to have. Absolutely. And maybe that's yours. That's awesome. Make sure that you break down each piece, you define each piece, you give examples of each piece, you train on each and every piece, and you talk about it every single time. Let me give you a sports example. So I want you to think about how championship teams like the New England Patriots rally around their mission of do your job. So that was their mission, do your job. Everyone from rookies all the way to veterans understood their role and how to perform it to perfection. Now, whether they could or not, that's a different story, but they were always trying to attain perfection and working to get there better and better. That kept the team moving forward in its shared objective of do your job. And it worked. You know, they won, I think, 7 Super Bowls, was I believe. So fairly good example to follow. Okay. That's pillar number 1, which is unity around a mission. If you don't have a mission, get a mission. And we're going to make sure that that is in the action plan at the end of this. Pillar number 2 is accountability to the values of the company. Okay, so we're talking core values here. So one of the most common problems is that we often set company values, but they're in a drawer somewhere. Maybe they're on a sign that no one reads or even knows about, and we fail to hold our teams accountable to them. This creates a gap between what the company says it stands for and how the team actually operates on the daily, which leads to inconsistency and a lack of trust. So championship teams don't just talk about their values, they live them out every single day. So whether it's discipline, integrity, teamwork, values become the standards that guide every decision, every action, and every interaction within the team. So here at Mayner Leadership, one of our values is sincere candor, is competitive greatness, right? Is elite communication. Okay, we have 3 or 4 values here, 4 right now that we hammer down on, we reward with, we recognize with, and we talk about every single day. So what does this mean in your business? So in a small service business, values like quality, customer service, teamwork, they must be the baseline for every task. Okay, so instead of having 1,000 different rules, we have 3 to 5 values in which we behave, which we operate with, right? So it's every task, every job, every customer interaction, every team interaction. If excellence is a value, then every job should be done to the highest of standards with no expectations, right? That is the business application of that. That's how we hold our team accountable to it. We talk about it all the stinking time, every day, all day, every meeting with every single person. We reward it, we recognize it, and that's how we operate daily. That's why they're so important. That's what builds a really amazing culture, is when we reinforce them all the time. It's not the big meeting that we have once a quarter. It's the every single day reminding them, okay, and rewarding them and recognizing them when they're embodying those values and they're bought into that mission. So here's a sports example. So I want you to consider how the San Antonio Spurs, which back in the day, they were really, really good. They built a dynasty around values like humility and selflessness. They were a team, okay? So their values were humility and selflessness. Players were held accountable, not just to perform, but to perform in a way that honored the team's values. Does your team perform in a way that honors your values, right? This culture of accountability is why they were so competitive for so long. So make sure that we're holding our team accountable to our values. Make sure they know them, they understand them, they can repeat them, they've been trained on them, they've been given tons and tons of examples on them. This episode is brought to you by Mayner Leadership, your go-to solution for turning chaotic operations, misaligned teams, and poor communication into winning strategies. Don't let these common challenges hold back your success. Discover the 4 meetings that you need to grow a service company. Simple, effective, and fast meetings designed to boost productivity and impact without micromanaging or overcomplicating things. Head over to maynerleadership.com/4 meetings to download your free guide today and start transforming your team, or click the link in the show notes below. At Mayner Leadership, we have used this exact communication framework to transform over 1,000 service businesses just like yours. With our tailored leadership consulting, high-impact coaching, interactive workshops, and dynamic keynotes that inspire action and drive real results. Maybe you're ready to elevate your leadership game now. Visit maynerleadership.com or click the link in the show notes below to learn more and book your free leadership audit today. Welcome back, Playmakers. Let's talk about pillar number 3 of building a championship culture, and that is the relentless pursuit of improvement through implementation. You can't just talk about it, you got to do it. So many leaders often identify areas for improvement, but fail to implement changes effectively. So we know where we're weak, but we don't really do anything about it other than give it some lip service, okay? We get stuck in the planning stage, or we lose momentum because our phone just rang 2,000 times when we're trying to execute some new strategy, and we just leave a bunch of potential improvements kind of unrealized, and the business remains just kind of stagnant. We're just a duck on the pond. We're just stuck in the mud. So championship teams, okay, they don't just talk about getting better. They do it. They implement the strategies into their everyday operations, okay? They take what they've learned from the failures and successes, and they turn it into concrete action. So this means identifying areas for growth, which we've already given you 2: unity around a mission and accountability to the values, which I can pretty much guarantee 9 out of 10 small home service-based businesses could get better at those 2 things. This is the implementation piece. This is the relentless pursuit of getting better through implementing and putting things into action. We need to take what we've learned in our failures, in our successes, and get better and change things. We haven't learned anything unless we've changed our behavior. Okay, we need to create a strategy to get better every single day, no matter what, like 1% better. Okay, by the end of a year, after 1% better each day, we've improved by 365%. That's pretty doggone good. Even if you get 0.1% better, we've improved by 36.5%. That's pretty doggone too, which means we need to work on executing the plan with precision. So here's some key points. 1 is develop a structured approach to continuous improvement. Essentially, we evaluate and assess. Okay, here's what we're weak at. We put a plan together. I like a 3-step action plan. ABC, 1, 2, 3. Very good. It's simple, it's concise, it's clear, it works. Then we implement the plan, okay, by making sure that everyone is formed, updated, and clarified with what the plan is and how we're going to do it. And then the implementation happens, right? We know what the deadlines are. We know who's responsible for what, and we check in on it regularly. Can fumble over my words today. Every single day, essentially, and in all of our meetings, one-on-one, small group, and large group, and we review it, right? We need to set specific and measurable goals for each area of improvement and assign clear ownership. Okay, that's what I mean by giving responsibility. Who owns this action item? Who are the deadlines? And who's on that team, depending on, obviously, what the goal might be. We need to make it an environment, build and create an environment where the feedback loop is used as fuel to take action and get results, not just to talk and bitch and complain, essentially. So feedback is meant to improve behavior in order to get better tomorrow, okay? Not just complaining and talking, okay? So what does this mean in your business? Well, in small service-based businesses, this could mean taking customer feedback much more seriously. Maybe multiple customers suggest a process improvement. The business maybe doesn't just acknowledge it, but we actually build a plan around it. We implement some new procedures, and we follow up to see if it's getting us the desired outcome that we want. So each improvement idea must go through my structured process, okay? We've learned this. What is the problem? What solution are we trying to get? How are we going to implement our plan? And then how are we going to review? So problem, solution, implementation, and review. So let's talk about a sports example. My boy Nick Saban, when he was at Alabama. So I want you to think about his consistently evaluates every facet of his program, every single facet of his football program, offense, defense, special teams. He constantly evaluates, watches the game film. He knows the strengths, he knows the weaknesses, and he was so good at implementing the changes as needed, one step at a time. He did not wait for an issue to derail the team. Did not even let it get close to that, okay? He started putting the plan in place and implementing the new plan to get the new solution before it even really became a big problem. He noticed it when it was a tiny problem, and then he made sure that they got better every single day so that they could adapt to what was going on and what was happening. And guess what? They started to win. That's your 3 pillars. So let's dive in and give you the action plan for what you can do today to get your team working on building that championship winning culture. So championship culture action plan for the week. Number 1 is to clarify your mission in a team meeting. Okay. I want you to hold just a 15-minute team huddle to define or revisit your company's mission. Make sure it's clear, make sure it's concise, make sure it's tied to your business goals, and tell it to them. Tell them to start, remember it. Tell them that you're going to start saying it over and over. By the end of that meeting, I want you to have a 1-sentence mission statement that everyone can remember and everyone can repeat, and you do repeat it multiple times a day, every single day. Okay, that's number 1, is clarify your mission in a team meeting and start repeating it over and over. Get everyone to remember it. Number 2 is to identify and reinforce one core value. So I want you to just pick one core value. Hopefully you already have some and just need to revisit it, right? But pick one, the one that is the most important for you. I like to order them. If you have 3 or 5 of them, whatever that might be, pick the one most important core value that you have. Okay. And then I want you to focus on it this week. I want you to share a quick story or a quick example of how this value looks in action, why you chose this value. Do all of that with your team in your one-on-ones, your small group meetings, and your large group meetings. Then I want you to challenge your team to live that value out during the week. And then I want you to reward and recognize someone or multiple people that start to embody that within the everyday operations and talk about it over and over. And the same thing as the mission. Get them to repeat it, get them to remember it, get them to be able to explain it, tell a story about it, give the origin story of why you chose that. So at the end of the week, the deliverable is to ask the team members to share one example of how they demonstrated the value and celebrate the best story. That is the 3 pillars of championship culture. Great huddle, playmakers. This strategy session was packed with powerful plays and game-winning insights designed to elevate your leadership, drive your team to victory, and make your business better than ever. As a coach, both on and off the field for over 20 years, I live for those game-changing moments. And I'm sure that you just scored a few during this episode. Now, it's your turn to make a move. Share your winning plays and your key takeaways by leaving a review wherever it is that you tune in, whether that's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. And don't keep this game plan to yourself. Share this episode with a fellow leader who's in the trenches and who's ready to level up their leadership game. Your feedback fuels my drive and keeps me in the game, crafting these strategies and sharing insights just for you. And if you're ready to take your leadership and operations to the next level, then book a free leadership audit to learn more by visiting us at www.maynerleadership.com. Keep leading strong, stay in the fight, and make today a powerful one. Until next time, keep pushing for victory.